At Holloway and Hulling, we deliver the results that Grizz fans deserve. If you've been charged with a criminal offense or a DUI, we will fight to defend your rights.
If you've been injured in an accident, we have the offense to get you the compensation you deserve.
Choose the right team. Choose Holloway and Hulling for proven criminal defense and personal injury legal services, a proud partner of Grizzly Athletics. Visit us soon at our new downtown location or check out our website for more information.
Talkin Schmidt back for another week. Hopefully he's got some juice left after a 3.5 hour marathon on the Grizz Fan Pod. I gotta say, I'm really proud of myself for declining the invitation because I did about 100 hours last week, and then those boys invited both me and you on, and I was like, you know what? No, guys, I'm sorry. I'll come back around another time. I can't endure a 4 hour pod on Sunday night. I just can't.
Yeah, and my wife is like, "Hey, weekends are for family," and it's like, "Don't worry, I'll do an hour." And I ended up there for 3.5, so that was fun.
Shout out to the wives of all of us, but especially the Grizz Fan Pod wives that have those guys do that on Sunday night every week.
Nights are not good for me, as you know, Colter.
Yeah,
Nights are yeah.
Nights with the 2-year-old is not good, and you got 2 under 2 now. So when you're
Yeah.
saying, "Hey, babe, have fun doing bedtime and basketball,"
Yeah, with 2 kids. Yeah, not ideal. So
my wife told me this morning on this Tuesday. She said, "I need you to be done working by the time McCall goes to bed tonight, and then you're not going to work until Friday." She said, "You're not allowed to work on Wednesday or Thursday. We are hanging out with our family, and that is it." She's like, if you open the computer, it's going to be hell to pay." And I'm like, "Okay, deal." So we'll jam them all in here today.
Well, you'll have football to watch and stuff like that,
Yeah,
and
oh yeah.
you gamble on. Yeah, I'm actually watching Manchester City right now. They're playing in the Champions League, like I talked about a few weeks ago. Soccer is wonderful because there's games going on right now. Chelsea's playing Barcelona, and Borussia Dortmund's playing Villarreal, and tons of stuff going on. So, yeah, no, it's great.
So why do we have a BBC background today?
I was just doing the meme here of the kid walking into the onto the middle of the Zoom call. I couldn't think of anything else because just recapping that wonderful Montana Grizzly win, beating the Cats yet again. It's good to be a Montana Grizzly and owning this rivalry.
Grizz did not win. Cats won 31-28 in Missoula.
Uh, are you sure about that?
I watched with my own eyes Montana State salted away at the end of the game with a 7-minute drive that was so reminiscent of Bobby Hauck that it must just make Bobby Hauck sick. I watched Montana State rush for 241 yards and win in walkaway fashion in Missoula.
Well, certainly this is like the first time they've won in like 20 years, because we beat them so many times. We own this rivalry, so certainly they got lucky or something, right?
Montana State has now won 7 of the last 9 rivalry games and 12 of the last 22 since the streak was snapped.
I don't think that can't be right. We have this coach Bobby Hauck who's only lost to them like twice. Like, so there's no way they could have won like 7 of the last 9.
Bobby Hauck has now lost as many times as he's won. He is 2-5 in his second tenure back at Montana, and he is 7-7 in his 14 career rivalry games.
This can't be Colter. This is all news to me. This can't be possible. I mean, certainly George Dennison won't let this happen.
Well, Montana's had several presidents since George Dennison died. First
He
retired.
died?
Then died, yes. We've gone through the Royce Engstrom era. Then
Well, they're gonna fix this, right? I mean, Jim O'Day's gonna hire the right person.
Well, Jim's been fired since 2011, and we've had the same Montana's had the same athletic director since then, Kent Haslam, and he has hired, I guess now, 3 football coaches and fired 2. Fired Robin Pflugrad, hired Mick Delaney, hired Bob Stitt after Delaney retired, and then hired Bobby Hauck after Bob Stitt was fired.
So you're all right. So even if the Grizz they lost, they certainly won the Big Sky, right? At least
They have won the Big Sky 1 time since 2009.
okay. So you're telling me that over the last all this goodwill that was built from I don't know, late 80s to 90s
1989
to
probably, yeah.
the 2000s is all shit into the hole in the ground, is what you're saying?
I think that you could probably at least lead me down that path a little bit.
Well, all news to me. I certainly think that if this were to be true, someone should make some damn changes and fix it. And fix it, Colter.
Yeah, I've thought about this so much because, and you have great perspective on this as someone that grew up in Bozeman while the streak was happening, but then came and played for Montana when, even after the streak was snapped, the Grizzlies then re-grasped the supremacy in the rivalry, and even when it wasn't 16 in a row, it still became, 18 out of 20 and 19 out of 21, and until we've gotten to this most recent era, which I would say is the last 15 years, and it swung. But I've thought about this a lot because, and you know this, being around people that follow and support Montana State growing up your whole life. There was such a long period of time that the Grizzlies dominated the Bobcats that Bobcat fans almost across the board would have taken a win over the Grizzlies over literally any other thing. If you were like, okay, here's your three choices: beat the Grizz, win the Big Sky, win the national championship, the vast majority were over here saying we have to beat the Grizz. Mm-hmm. And Montana State has spent most of the last 25 years, since Mike Kramer was flown in the middle of the night on a private jet from Eastern Washington, and there was like an in-conference coup that took the Big Sky Coach of the Year and said, okay, come coach this team who hasn't won shit in the last 20 years. You're going to rebuild it. And since then, Montana State has been incrementally building. But what have they done more than anything? They've prioritized beating their in-state rival, because those two things go hand in hand. You beat your in-state rival over and over and over again. If you do catch the Grizzlies in all the different facets of the arms race, then you do all of a sudden also circumstantially vault to becoming the top team in the Big Sky Conference and one of the Big Sky Championship contenders. In the meantime, Montana was Big Brother. They did have a Big Brother mentality. They didn't care about what the Cats were doing. You say this all the time. You're like, I actually kind of like the Cats. I don't even think about them. That is a thing that has existed for so long in the universe. But now there was this ironic thing going on. Because Montana State only cared about Montana, now they're beating Montana at everything across the board. Montana is falling behind. And because Montana's had this attitude that the Cats don't matter for 30 years, they don't even realize they're getting their ass kicked by the Cats. And all of a sudden, in this weird smoking mirrors thing, the Grizz became the Cats and the Cats became the Grizz. And I don't know how this happened.
This field represents big moments, big challenges, and the need for a team you can trust.
At Holloway and Hulling, we understand what's at stake. We are your advocates in Missoula and Western Montana.
We provide clear, result-driven counsel for criminal defense and personal injury cases.
Our new downtown office is where we turn that strategy into action.
Holloway and Hulling, your advocates for justice and a proud Grizz sponsor.
Jewelry Design Center. We want to be your jeweler for life.
Yo, Tara, what up, E?
What's going on? Man, those are some nice medals.
Yeah, man, these are hard to come by.
Yeah, well, I've got 2 of them.
Well, that's nothing like going to March Madness, though.
We did go to a national championship.
Okay, guys, whatever. Let's just get on the Montana party bus and head over to Press Box for lunch.
Yeah.
Nuanez now and Skyline Sports, covering Montana athletics and the Big Sky Conference better than anybody. The Montana Party Bus and the Press Box are also proud supporters of Montana athletes.
Hey, cheers to you guys, man. Cheers to Montana. Cheers to chasing more championships.
Hello, my name is Kelly Ayat, quarterback at the University of Montana. In the off-season, it's important to do everything you can to prepare for the season. In high school, that means funding your program. In my experience, Vertical Raise is the ultimate online fundraiser platform. Now broaden your reach of your fundraiser and bring in more money than other platforms. And there are no sneaky or hidden fees like other companies. If you're trying to raise money for your program, reach out to Vertical Raise today.
Well, it somewhat true. It would be true if the Grizz fans currently realized that there was a problem and wanted to fix it by beating the Cats and everything. But from what I stand or what I understand, which comes across on Twitter every day, to me, is that there isn't a problem. There isn't a problem. It's still a good season. We're still the 3 seed. You lost at home to your rival for the Big Sky, okay? To complete all of your goals. That's not the standard. That is not the standard. And that we can talk about so many things about why that's the case. But there's micro, there's macro, there's everything in between. But the biggest thing to me is people thinking that there is not a problem, that this is okay. This is not okay. And every time I bring it up and they're like, well, your teams will never won the national championship. My dude, in 11 years, we went to it 5 times and we never lost the Big Sky. And we lost to the Cats twice in 11 years. Like it has flipped, my man. It has flipped completely. Like what the Cats have gone, they'll probably go to the championship this year. That means they have gone to it 3 times in the last 5 years, 4 years.
Yeah, 3 times.
If they do that, and they've won the Big Sky like every year.
They've won it 3 out of the last 4 times. They go undefeated in the Big Sky 3 times in 4 seasons.
Okay, that used to be us. So until you realize that there's a problem here, that you let the Mets do this to the Yankees, that you let the Angels do this to the Dodgers, that you let the Clippers do this to the Lakers, until you recognize that you have a problem, like this is like Alcoholics Anonymous. Not that I know because I haven't been there, but you have to first admit that there's a problem. There's a problem here. I don't give a shit if they're the 3rd seed or not. I don't care if they're 11 and I do care if they're 11-1. If that one loss is to the Cats and you lose the Big Sky because of it, that's the problem. And until you guys say, you know what? I saw the stadium plans that they want to build. I want to build it better. I want to build it here better. I saw that they want to do a hard roof on their indoor. We're going to scrap this shit bubble idea, and we're going to do it at our place better. Until you want to beat them in everything, you're going to fall behind because that's what they want to do to you. That's what they wanted to do to you for 100 years. And you are just sitting here thinking that it's not a problem. My guy, it is completely flipped. It has flipped, and you need to recognize that problem.
Okay, I have 3 things that I want to address here. 1, let's say Montana played Montana State's schedule this year. And instead of playing North Dakota at home and Idaho at home and hosting the Cats, instead, Montana had to go on the road to play Oregon. They played South Dakota State at home. They played UC Davis at home, and they had to go on the road to play the Cats. And let's say that didn't go their way, and they were an 8-3 team coming into the brawl, and they lost the brawl, and they're sitting there at 8-4. Would that actually be a good thing for the program because it would actually sound the alarm for people to let them know how far away they are? Or like, do we have an overinflated sense of where the Grizz are at because of their great run in 2023, which they deserve credit for, and this year's 11-0 record that came against an easy schedule?
Well, I mean, I think both of them kind of had easy schedules besides the Oregon game. I mean, because everyone in the Big Sky sucks. So, like, I think that's probably just going to be what it is for the rest of the time. You're going to have your out-of-conference games. I think North Dakota's good. I think South Dakota State's good. They played each other in an overtime game. I think that's kind of a wash, although
What if the Grizz played those teams, though? Like, if they played South Dakota State week 2, I think the Grizz lose.
Yeah, well, maybe. I don't know. I think that Washington Grizzly is a little more that game went into overtime, and I don't think Chase Mason and that team, I think they have issues. And so, yeah, I think that's kind of a wash. They didn't play Oregon. I think the records are somewhat similar. But to answer your question, I've been pounding this table for long enough telling you guys that there's a problem going on. And it's this idea that we're Montana. If you don't come here, you're stupid. We don't even have to try for you to come here. And that attitude permeates everything.
Right.
Everything. It's like, oh, we're Montana, not a big deal. It's like there's a city on a hill like Butte, America, and it's got 100,000 people at the turn of the copper Kings. And there's a town next door that's just building and building and building and building and building. And you're like, we're fine. We're Butte. We don't have to do anything. And then you look down the road and all of a sudden this other place has the whole population and Butte is with 30,000 people now. And you're like, well, we're Butte. It still doesn't matter. Yes, bitch, it does matter. It does matter. You need to win at everything. That comes from in-state recruiting, that comes from facilities, that comes from enrollment, that comes from donations. It comes from everything. Everything. You should want to win every day. And this idea that you're going to win just because you exist is bullshit. And I mean, this is like the end of the day, you lose to the Cats on your home field and you're like, oh, well, we still have everything in front of us. No, you don't. No, you cannot win the Big Sky. You lost it. Okay. You can play the Cats again. All right. That trophy is not on the line for that, for whatever reason, but you can't get that back. You can get to the national championship, but then you got another game to try to win it. So like, it's not all ahead of you. Your only thing that you can do is hope to avenge a loss and win a national championship. And that's it. Those other goals that you had, gone till next year. That's how important this is. And realizing or saying that it's not a problem, that's an issue for me. We should cast all you people out on an ice floe and just get you out of Grizz Nation, so to speak, because that opinion is dragging us down and dragging us behind.
Since Bobby Hauck left following the 2009 season, Montana State has won 6 Big Sky Conference championships. Eastern Washington has won 6 Big Sky Conference championships. This is one and or shared, right? One or shared 6 Big Sky titles, each Eastern Washington and Montana State. Weber State won 4. Southern Utah won 2. And schools like Cal Poly, Northern Arizona, Portland State have all shared just as many, and UC Davis have all shared just as many titles.
Yeah, we're saying 2011 doesn't count, which is bullshit. But I mean, even if it's 2, like even if we say, hey, it's 2, okay, you're still tied with Southern Utah.
I got bad news for you. The Grizz did not share the Big Sky title that year.
In 11?
Maybe they did. I'm trying to remember because they beat the Cats when they were number 1, and I can't remember if that helped them share. I think
they did share.
Okay, still 2.
So 2. So say it's 2.
Same as Southern Utah, and less than Weber and Eastern, let alone the Cats.
Yeah. So like, what are we doing here? Why do you guys think, oh, it's still fine? It's not fine. Nothing here is fine. And then now you guys are hoping that Vegan takes the Oregon State job and takes his recruits with him, or takes the Colorado State job. Guys, we've been through this before. Wait. We've been through this before. When Choate left, we're like, oh, at least they'll hire someone else. And they did, and he's better. Clearly, he's better. So like, what's the problem? It's you guys not recognizing that there's a problem. That's it.
And also maybe not recognizing that Montana State's been closer than people have given them credit for a really long time. Like what happens when Mike Kramer if he doesn't get fired? Like at that exact moment, Kramer had pulled it even in the rivalry. He was 3-3 against the Grizz. He had won in Missoula. He had snapped the streak. He beat the Grizz in Bozeman multiple times. He was 2-1 against Bobby Hauck. Like Kramer doesn't get fired. Like Rob Ash is the greatest gift the Grizz ever got.
Yeah, and you're thinking that Vegan is going to be Rob Ash when he first gets hired because he gets blown out in the first game, right?
Yeah.
And then what has he done? He's gotten every single Montana recruit that's worth a shit or developed them into good players. And what have you guys done? Nothing. Nothing.
Then that brings up a bigger question. And that is what if the root of this issue is actually systemic and institutional?
Sure.
It's the chicken or the egg, right? Does having a great football team that wins the in-state rivalry boost your enrollment? Or does having a great enrollment where everybody wants to go to school, which is the cool place to go to school, help you lure all the best Montana recruits, which then helps you win the in-state football game? It's a conundrum to me, but I do think that right now Montana State has stolen the momentum from Montana from an institutional standpoint. Like if you go on campus in Bozeman, you go walk around the tailgates, it reminds me exactly of how Missoula was when we were in school. You got the girls, you got the parties, you got all this stuff going on. It's buzzing. There's young people everywhere. I was down on campus. I go down to campus now that it's crossover season because I do the basketball interviews in person. It's ghost town down there, man. Like I was hanging out at the UC. There's no buzz. There's nothing going on.
Mm-hmm.
So I just wonder if that influences like these in-state recruits. It just seems like this total environment that is like festering itself.
I don't know. I think high school boys looking for a team to join are looking for a chance to win. I think they're looking for girls, and I think they want to feel wanted.
Yep.
Right? So like I don't know. The
Throw
girl
a
part,
few beers in there.
yeah, throw through beers. Like the girl part, I don't know about that anymore. Like I'm almost 40 and married and 2 kids, right? But like the other part, the Bobcats almost screwed up there. The Bobcats have a chance to win, clearly winning the Big Sky and getting to the national championship game. So they got that more than Montana does, way more than Montana does currently, and making you feel wanted from every story that I've heard. The attitude is you should come here because we're Montana, not because we want you to be here. So I don't know. You guys tell me. You sent me that picture of all of the in-state Montana kids on the defensive line blocking that kick. They're all Montana kids. Okay. Those guys, I don't know the story of each one and what it would take to, well, I do know one, old Venmo. I know his story, but the rest of them, I don't know if there's the legit chance or not for the Grizz to get them. But all the stories I've heard are that we feel entitled, that we're Montana, you should come here. My guys, I keep saying this. Over the last decade, the Cats have a better chance to win a championship. They have a better chance to win the Big Sky. And they are also making their players feel wanted. So why would you come to Montana? We're not, this ain't 2004 anymore. This ain't 2008. Okay? This ain't 1995.
Even then, didn't those guys make you feel wanted?
Yes. We've talked about this before. They called me all the time. And if it wasn't for, the Cats had a good recruiting coordinator. He just got busted for dealing meth. So that's why I wasn't a Cat. But all the other people on the staff called and called and called and made you feel wanted, made you want to feel like, hey, this team that is North Dakota State before North Dakota State, a chance to play for a national championship, they really want me. They really want me to join the team. That is awesome. Like one of the top teams in the nation wants me. It made you feel good. I'm not so sure they do that anymore. And they're not one of the top teams. Like they're the 3 seed, sure. But they're not, based on results, they're not one of the top teams in the country.
The other part about the in-state recruiting battle, I think the nuance is important, is that we're not just talking about you need to recruit as many Montana kids as possible. You need to win on the ones that are the best in the state, and at least some of them. So like Kenneth Iden, for example, defensive end for the Cats, who's going to be an all Big Sky player. If you lose on him, that's whatever. His dad played for the Cats. He grew up in Bozeman. Like, okay, that guy's probably not going to come to the Grizz. That's fine, right? But the fact that there was 6 West High guys in this game, 6 Billings West guys in this game, and they all play for the Cats, and 5 of them start for the Cats, is such a symbol of how did you guys let what was a pipeline to the Grizz go by the wayside? And then you look at what the Grizz have on their sideline, the Montana contributors that were good players. Kellen Dietrich, he had a sack in this game. He's from Havre. Drew Deck played well from Kalispell. Weren't recruited by the Cats. The Cats aren't even recruiting these guys. We talked about this when you had your rant earlier in the season. And this is a message on Twitter from a listener. He says, I just want to get something out there in regards of in-state recruiting. You mentioned UM was doing better this year because they have more players from Montana committed, but I went through and tracked every single one of these guys as offers, and he says Montana State has in-state commitments from Elias Bonner from Billings West, Bozeman Gallatin from Carter Ducky of Bozeman Gallatin, Brent Linder from Helena Capital, Tommy Lewis from Havre, and Brody Belay of Polson. All 5 of those guys had full ride offers from both schools. All 5 of them chose the Cats. The only kid right now that is committed to Montana that had an offer from the Cats is Junior Adams' son, Wesley Arrett.
Yeah.
Other than that, all the rest of the guys that are committed to the Grizz are getting recruited by Rocky Mountain College and Northern and Western and Carroll and Tech.
Yeah.
Not Montana State. So is this an evaluation problem, or does Bobby Houck just not want, and his staff not want to get into recruiting battles in which they know they're not going to win?
I don't know what
I don't know either. That's an unanswerable question.
I mean, I don't know what the recruiting strategy is. I don't know if he thinks, like you mentioned earlier this year, that the Montana kids it's not going to win you the national championship, even if you get them.
Sure.
I don't believe that, but I don't know what their malfunction is. I can tell you the people who reached out to me, I had a bunch of people reach out to me over Twitter, telling the same story over and over again.
Right.
Which is they act like you need to come there because it's Montana, and they don't really care. And I keep hearing that over and over and over. So, like, what do you want me to say? You want me to make up some shit and say everything's fine after you just lost again for the 7th out of 9 times? Like, you want me to make it up so you feel better about yourself, so I don't hurt your feelings? No. Again, I don't care if I get in trouble for this, or if whatever they do, excommunicate me. I don't care. I want Montana to be where they used to be and to compete for national championships and win the Big Sky every year and beat the Cats every year. Until we recognize that there's a problem, that's not going to happen. Just not. You're going to let the Cats eat your lunch all day, which is like that game, as close as it was, I was surprised it was close. Because they look better and more physical than the Grizz do. They just do. And it was shown on that last drive where they were able to run the clock out. All's not well. I don't care if they make it to the semifinals. If they lose to the Cats again, it's going to be an issue. Like, what happens if you lose to the Cats again?
Man, especially if it's because,
and you're 2-6 in 2.0.
Right. And especially if the same things keep showing up, and that is the inability. Again, this is like the flipped reflection in the mirror thing. Like, why could the Cats not beat the Grizz for all those years? Because of their dominance in in-state recruiting, and because of their dominance on the line of scrimmage, and because of their ability to dominate the other side mentally. Like, those are the 3 biggest factors. And now the Cats own all 3 of those factors, right? Like, you watch that football game back. I've watched it 3 times now.
Yeah.
The Grizz lose the line of scrimmage on like 85% of the plays. Like, they had some great hits and some big plays, and they had some big blocks on offense specifically. Like, Schaefer had that kick out block where he drilled Iden. Gilman had the big block on the Wortham run. Like, they had the Grizz came to play, and they played really well. But they still got dominated on the line of scrimmage most of the afternoon. And that's where I'm I'm so lost on this, right? Because take a guy like Paul Brott. Okay, his 2 older brothers played at Montana State. So you already have an inside track for him to go there. But he also had no Division I offers besides the Cats. Like, why not just give him an offer and see if he comes to the Grizz? Like, why not try with that guy? But then if you let's say you got the evaluation right. He wasn't a good enough player coming out of high school. But look at what they then made him become in college. That's development. That's where I'm so confused is, okay, what if your evaluations, they used to just take all the Montana guys they could get because they had so much confidence in their ability to develop those guys. Like, I just don't know where that went.
Well, I mean, I'll give you a personal example with me, okay? So, well, when I was coming up, okay, I was a slow white running back, okay, but I was second in the state in rushing, behind Rob Schulte. We were both super state. We were both Shrine Game guys, and they took both of us, right? And not only that, they gave I was a preferred walk-on who ended up earning a scholarship, but they convinced me to come there, okay, with Schulte, who was brought in a running back. But also, Lex Hilliard is only a year older than us, right? They had Justin Green at the time as their starting running back. They had the next year, they had all of us. They brought in
Reggie Bradshaw.
Reggie Bradshaw, and they brought in
Brady Green.
Well, Brady Green was already there. They brought in Fort Benton, Utterback.
Brandon Utterback.
Brandon Utterback, who broke the record for most rushing yards in a career, right? They would bring us all in. Because you know it's not just getting the good talent, it's preventing the Cats from getting any talent. So like that's part of the thing. If Dolan, to make up an example, if you get him in what's best case scenario, he's the backup for Micah Harper. Okay, at least he isn't tackling Eli Gilman in the backfield. You know what I mean? Like you should a good offense is also a good defense in regards to recruiting. And in my example, they took all of us. This is that Don Draper, what is happiness? It's just a moment before you want more happiness. You don't want some of it. You want all of it, all of it. Like you want every single good player that you can get your hands on. And if they don't work out, they don't work out. But at least they're not down the road kicking your ass. And it also seems like, and we talked about it on Sunday night, seems like they're a little bit better in their strength and conditioning program and developing guys than the Grizz are. It seems pretty apparent when they line up next to one another, and the Bobcats are all built like brick shit houses, and the Grizz aren't. And then not only the way they look, but they get pushed around in the trenches. So there's multiple things wrong here. Multiple things wrong. And you think, hey, we're going to get the best players just because we're Montana, and then you look at the field on Saturday and they're getting pushed around by your rival. It's not gonna work. It's not. And if you guys think they're gonna go into Bozeman and beat Bozeman and then go in and beat North Dakota State, you're fucking kidding yourself. That's not happening. It's not happening. So I told you guys this last year that this needed to be fixed. And what do? We got a bunch of talent from the transfer portal. Cool. Did it work? No. Did not. It did not. It's not gonna end up working.
At Holloway and Hulling, we deliver the results that Grizz fans deserve. If you've been charged with a criminal offense or a DUI, we will fight to defend your rights.
If you've been injured in an accident, we have the offense to get you the compensation you deserve.
Choose the right team. Choose Holloway and Hulling for proven criminal defense and personal injury legal services, a proud partner of Grizzly Athletics. Visit us soon at our new downtown location or check out our website for more information.
And support a Grizz athlete. DraftWorks is a longtime favorite of beer enthusiasts across the Treasure State, and DraftWorks has created a sessionable, delicious lager that donates part of every sale to the name, image, and likeness efforts at the University of Montana. Up with Montana Lager is a crisp, effervescent beer that pours pale straw in color and greets you with an inviting malty aroma. And it's crafted with Grizz athletes in mind. If you're headed to the tailgate or stocking up to watch football, give back to the NIL Collective at the University of Montana by drinking Up with Montana Lager, proudly created by DraftWorks Brewing.
Cash One Pawn, Missoula's #1 pawn shop.
You want money? We got money. You need money? We got money. We're cash.
Do yourself a favor and make Cash One Pawn part of your online shopping habits. Cash One Pawn has an awesome online inventory, everything from firearms to power tools to speaker equipment to jewelry. Visit Cash One Pawn today.
Cash One Pawn.
8720 Roller Coaster Road, CashOnePawn.com.
Join Town Pump's Pump It Up Rewards Plus program and never pay full price for fuel again.
Save 5 cents on every gallon every day at any Town Pump across Montana.
Plus, earn and redeem points on your favorite in-store items to get free stuff with our clubs.
Stop in and pick up a rewards card. Download the Pump It Up Rewards Plus app today.
Or visit townpump.com/rewards to register and start saving.
Right down the road. Pump it up. Yeah.
Talkin Schmidt, probably presented by Holloway and Hulling. Holloway and Hulling voted Missoula's best attorney in 2025. They have more than 40 years of experience. They combine their passion for justice with a deep understanding of Montana law. With over 40 years of experience, their team offers expert legal representation in criminal defense, personal injury, and family law. They're not just lawyers, they're advocates for you in the courtroom and beyond. Their legal team of professionals can unite by a common goal to provide exceptional legal representation to the people of Montana. Holloway and Hulling, call anytime, 880-7424, or visit montanalawyers.net. It's the endless cycle of the development versus the recruiting, right? Okay, you got to get the guys so then you can develop them. If you don't think they're good enough yet, that's fine. You still should get them to try to develop them, right? Like, that's the thing.
Yep.
Like, look at a guy like Cole Taylor. He was a high school quarterback at Great Falls CMR. He was not good enough to play D1 quarterback, but he's 6'3", 225 pounds. And I remember from when he was in high school, he would post videos of himself lifting. And one day I watched one of these videos and I'm like, this kid can power clean 295 pounds as a high school kid? Oh, wow, he can bench 330? I was like,
Yeah.
you just go get that guy. Because, like,
Yeah.
you just teach him how to play linebacker because he's
Offer him.
6'3", 225, and he can already
Yeah.
power clean 300 pounds. Oh, guess what? His grandparents are huge Grizz boosters.
Yeah.
Oh, guess what? He's gone to games his whole life.
Yeah.
Oh, guess what? He didn't get contacted by Montana whatsoever because they lost the projection of that. It's so
Yep.
confusing to me, though, because go through all the guys from our age group that were great players. Croy Bierman, partial scholarship. Colt Anderson, walk-on. Mark Mariani, after school started walk-on.
Yeah. Right.
And Schillinger. Actually, Shan had a full ride because Shan lost like one high school game in his whole freaking career.
Yeah.
But still, it's not like he's some crazy four-star recruit. He's like 5'10", 175 pounds. But they developed him into being an NFL draft pick. Chase
Yep.
Reynolds, like
Yep.
partial, like you can just go on down the line. I don't
Claybo, partial scholarship. Like
Austin Mullins, Sean Lebsaw.
Yep.
I mean, the only
I'm pretty sure
full-ride
Carlson was a.
I'm pretty sure the only full ride Montana guys from my class were the Palmers. I think every other guy was partial scholarship.
I think because I remember back then they would only give full rides to out of state kids because otherwise they wouldn't come here. Where you could get the Montana kids on partials and get more of them, and they would all agree because hey, we get a chance to play for a title. So like, yeah, not anymore. And all those guys that they developed, like I could wax poetic about our strength and conditioning program that we had and my problems with it, but it's not like we were weak on the field, right? I don't know. I have a pretty clear opinion on this that I shared. I don't think that their strength and conditioning program is worth a shit anymore. I don't think they know what they're doing in that regard. And I think it's pretty clear based on the results that every year they get pushed around. So as much good talent as you're getting, you're not developing them.
Another way that Montana State has become what Montana was. There's 20 to 25 scouts at their pro day every single year now. Why?
Yeah.
Because every single year you see a guy freak out, whether it's Alex Singleton or Ty Okada or Troy Anderson or Daniel Hardy or whoever. There is a guy that is going to test out of his mind if you go to Bozeman, and that guy's going to play his way into being either drafted or signed immediately after the NFL draft.
Yeah, Ty Okada. Right.
Okada, Tommy Malott. Like, I mean, Brody Greavy probably should have got a shot if he wasn't a tweener and had a position. I think he probably would have, but he had a good enough pro day to like get some attention, get a mini camp, So
because Sean Heron knows what he's doing. Right. Sean Heron is my age. We played against each other in every sport growing up in Montana.
He was a bad man. He was good, but he was an athlete.
Yeah, he played on the Helena Hoyas, that legendary traveling basketball team. Helena High guy, played against him whole way through. And then all of a sudden he gets into working with Dane Fletcher, and then the Cats hire him to be their strength coach. He is good at what he does. He knows what he's doing. You know why I know that? Because of the results. Like, look at their pro day numbers and look at what they do on the line of scrimmage. He knows what he is doing.
How much?
Look at them physically.
How much is just a matter of self-awareness? Like Montana State, when they got their asses kicked by North Dakota State in the playoffs in 2019, everybody in the program said, we got our asses kicked. We got pushed up and down the field. We're not good enough in the trenches. We got to prioritize recruitment, development on the offensive and defensive lines, and we got to get back in the weight room. And then after they got pushed around in South Dakota State in 2022, same deal. And all those players talked about that was our motivation. We were getting blown off the ball. Well, guess what? It got up to the point now where they play in these games and they don't get blown off the ball. And I wonder if the Grizz just like don't want to reconcile themselves with what are the issues that they are facing, and if that's a reflection of just the culture that's been created within the football program.
Yes, it's again, it permeates everything. We don't have to do anything because we're Montana. And it's like, that is such horse shit. Like, you need to work every day. You need to go to work every day. And if you don't, someone else is. Like I don't get this lazy entitlement. I don't, because it's not what you're taught as players. It's not what you're taught as successful. It's not what you're taught growing up, where you're like, hey, if hard work, talent beats hard work, unless hard work beats talent. You know that saying. Like if talent doesn't work hard. That's the thing. If you guys can get all the people you want, if you're not working hard and you're not even getting the right people. So like, what are we doing here? Cool. You're 11-1. Cool. Let's play this forward and see what happens.
There's a reality too, where like the Grizz are certainly working hard. Like there's no question. But you gotta be working smart too, though, and you have to do it in like a new age fashion, because like it's the key to life, right? You have to evolve all the time. Like you have to have a growth mindset to continue to evolve.
There's no evolving here, Colter. We are Montana, so it's gonna be fine. And it's like, again, all these people who are like, we're the 3 seed. The sky's not falling. Okay, sure. Go. If you win the national championship, great. You can consider it. You avenge that loss to the Cats, great. I would say it's working. Short of that, which is a very, very high bar to clear, it's not a success. It's not. Just take a look at the last decade. A decade. 10 years. Take a look at it. I'm not just making this up from just one season. I'm telling you that this is an entire decade of shit. And we're just supposed to be okay with it because they won 11 games on a soft schedule and 8 home games this year. I'm supposed to be okay with it? I'm not okay with it. They should have won. They should have got the Big Sky title. And then I would have been okay with whatever their plan is. But it's not just this season. It's the last season and the one before that and the one before that. And guess what? It's going to be the season after this and after this and after this. Okay? And it's not going to work the way we're doing it, because we're banging our head against the wall and doing it the same way we've been doing the last decade. It's not good enough.
In 1959, at Street's Grocery in Whitefish, Montana's special spice was born. Alpine Touch. It's the taste you grew up with, well seasoned through the test of time. As the tradition carries from one Montana generation to the next. From its humble beginnings to a trusted brand, here's to the next 60 years. Alpine Touch. Montana's special spice since 1959.
So will you marry me in your future? Or maybe you do it all over again. Hi, I'm Brian Toon with Jewelry Design Center, inviting you to come see the largest selection of Will You Marry Me in the state of Montana. The brightest diamonds of every shape and size, unique settings built to last, and skilled jewelers on site offering free sizing and maintenance for life, because that's how long we want to be your jeweler. Jewelry Design Center in Missoula, on Brooks, across from the Montana Club.
Being in this industry since I was in college, one of the things I think we take the most pride in is Aspen Sound's been such a presence in Missoula for almost 40 years. The cool parts about our job is people always ask me, what do you do for a living? I sell foam, whether it's as simple as window tint all the way up to integrating a backup camera into a factory screen. I'm usually pretty excited about that, just so we can present.
Thinking about selling your home in Missoula? Here's the truth. Buyers are still out there, but they're being picky. That means how you market your home matters more than ever. I'm Ty Hobbs with Hobbs Homes at Keller Williams, and my job is to make sure your listing stands out. From strategic pricing to professional marketing, stunning photography, and targeted advertising, I'll position your home to attract the right buyers and get you the best price possible. In today's market, it's not just about putting a sign in the yard, it's about telling your home story, creating urgency, and negotiating every dollar in your favor. If you've been on the fence about selling, now's the time to talk strategy. Let's see what your home could sell for and how we can make it happen.
Okay, last point for you. You and I agree that the FCS and the Big Sky Conference have both become watered down. In the Big Sky, traditional, at least semi-competitive to not really good teams like Eastern Washington and Weber State have gone the exact opposite direction. They've had questionable to poor hires at the head coaching spots. They have had less resources put into the program. They're getting eaten alive in their markets because nobody cares about them when they're mediocre. And everybody is, in Utah, everybody just drives north or south instead of going to Weber. in Spokane, everybody just drives to Wazoo, or they wait for basketball season so they can watch Gonzaga instead of going to Eastern. So that's fallen off. You've seen the traditional powers, App State, Georgia Southern, Sam Houston, Delaware, James Madison, they've all moved up. So we can agree that the FCS is not even close to as deep or as competitive as it used to be. That said, the bar to win a national championship in the FCS is higher than it's ever been because of North Dakota State, and that is it. That is
Correct.
it. Like I think that North Dakota State, like that first three-peat and the second three-peat, when they had respectively Brock Jensen and Carson Wentz into Eli Stick as their quarterbacks, I think those teams, like at the height of those teams, would pick the best one of each of those two eras. I think they win every Division I AA national championship in the history of the subdivision, except for probably one of those Georgia Southern teams in the late 80s, one of them in the early 2000s, and Marshall in 1996. Other than that, I think the best NDSU teams are the best teams in the history of the subdivision.
I think they're close with that App State team from like 2006.
The one that three-peated. That's great. I'm glad you
Yeah.
put that one in there because that team won at Michigan. That team won 3 straight national championships.
Yeah.
That team was very, very good as well. But still, they are some of the greatest teams in the history of the FCS. So that's where I think that this thing is the bar that Montana is chasing is a twofold bar. They are chasing North Dakota State, and they're just not realizing that they need to get over the top against Montana State first.
Yeah.
Because look at how badly Montana State has gotten beaten by North Dakota State. Like, we have the litmus test. The Cats have lost to North Dakota State in the playoffs 6 times in the last 7 years. Like, we've seen it. And sure, it's gotten better. It went from 49-14 to 35-32. They still haven't beat them. But Montana needs to realize you got to get over the hump of the team that keeps losing to North Dakota State before you can even chase North Dakota State.
Yeah, I made this point before, but say you had a team of Montana Cat Grizz all-star team, right? The last couple of years. Does that team beat North Dakota State? I think it does.
We're talking with
this current North Dakota,
just all the players, like all
like
the players.
yeah, correct.
Not just Montana guys.
Yeah. I'm talking.
We're talking.
Eli Gilman,
Gilman, and Wortham with Taco Dowler and
correct.
The Cat offensive line across the board because fucking Grizz offensive line would start for them. I think that team. I think that team would beat North Dakota State right now decisively.
Yeah,
decisively.
Right. So was the point that I was making is, Grizz fans, you can have both. You can have your transfers, you can have your Eli Gilmans, and you can have your Michael Worthams, okay? But you also can have the Paul Brotts and the Kenneth Idens and the Taylors or Talon Marshes. You can have all of those guys too. You just have to try, okay? And you haven't been trying. And do you know why I know that the Grizz could get those guys? Because we did. We did when I played. We had all those guys because they actually tried. So, like, that team right there, if you're chasing a national title and trying to beat the Cats, that should be your goal. You should get all of the best players from the state of Montana. You should develop them. Because if you had that mishmash of all-star team between the Cats and Grizz, you would win the national championship. You would be North Dakota State. Okay? But right now, you're not. You're not.
Okay, last thing here. The effort, I think, is, again, this is not just us making stuff up. Like, when we talked about this earlier in the season, I've never gotten so many messages in my life about something that I've talked about. And I've had a daily radio show that's statewide for 8 years. And I've been doing this podcast for 13 years. I've never had so much public feedback on when you struck the chord of the in-state recruiting. And I heard from people from all across the state of Montana, story after story after story after story. So that part is an aside. The other 2 parts I want to ask you about because I do think that you have to start. I think this is the exact same thing with the University of Montana, period. They have to start in their own backyard. Like, Montana wants to boost enrollment. Don't let anybody from Frenchtown to Hamilton to Darby to Polson go anywhere besides the University of Montana. Get every high school graduate from this area to go here. That's the number one thing you could fix, right? It's the same thing for the Grizz in football recruiting. Fix your 50-mile radius first, then fix the state. But if you fix the state, you can start making progress. But I wonder this. One, kids that are 17 years old in high school right now that are getting recruited, the last time the Grizz were the dominant team, they were 9 or 8.
Yeah.
Does that
Yeah.
influence them? And number 2, is part of the effort crafting a more positive public persona if you are Grizz football?
I mean, crafting a positive public persona, I don't know. I think you need to actually lean into what makes you awesome. Like
Right.
the facilities, the Champion Center, right? The downtown Missoula is so much better than Bozeman. Guys, I'm from Bozeman. Downtown Bozeman blows. It's the Rock and R bar, which is fun. And it's what, 317, which is okay.
The
It's just
Cannery
one
is fun if you like to hang out in the old
Cannery.
guys.
Yeah, the Crystal. Like
The Cannery, you're not going to the Cannery is where I go now. I'm 40.
Yeah.
I like
Right.
the Cannery because it's old guys bar.
It's one strip of street. It sucks. Like I've guys, I grew up there. Again, it's shitty. Like downtown Missoula is awesome with a river running right through it. It's picturesque. Like, how can you not sell that? How can you not sell Washington Grizzly Stadium? How can you not sell your facilities? Well, because you think that we just exist, so you should come here. That's what you're doing. This like the campus. My mom worked on campus for 30 years. Bozeman's campus is fine. It's just a campus. Like Montana's campus is straight out of a catalog. It is one of the most gorgeous campuses you can find out west, with the oval right next to the mountain and the grizzly bear and the main hall. Like, that's a postcard. Like, how you cannot sell, you guys need to come to this picturesque town where it's got an awesome downtown and an awesome university. And by the way, our football facilities are tops in the nation. You need to come here. We're great. Like, be part of this. Instead, it's like, hey, take a look at this. You'd be stupid not to come here.
Do you work?
It's arrogance.
Do you work as hard as you did 10 years ago?
Okay. This is another thing that I got into.
Do you try to work as hard as you did? Because I try, but it's not as easy when you get older. We're not even old yet. So imagine how little hard we're going to want to work when we're 62.
Yeah, I mentioned this the other night too.
Sorry, I haven't got to that part yet because I don't have an extra 3.5 hours by that Tuesday afternoon rolls. Yeah. I'm about an hour into your explosion on Sunday.
Recruiting is a young man's game. Okay, you have to want to be out on the road and away from your family and doing all of these things. Like, it's great for single guys coaching, right? It's
Montana State's D coordinator, single, under 45. Their linebackers coach, he's in his early 30s. He played for the Cats when I was still working at the newspaper. Their DB's coach, their safeties coach, in his 20s. Their corners coach in his 20s. They might be in their early 30s, but whatever. You know what I'm saying? These guys, it's a totally different dynamic than guys that have been there and done that and been in.
You think it's fun?
Years.
Yeah, you think it's fun to get in your car and drive from Bozeman to Miles City to go recruit some kid for 20 minutes and hit all these small towns along the way and not talk to or be around your family at all and have to be driving and loaded up on Monster Energy? I would have done that in my 20s and 30s, early 30s. Like, that would have been great. I would have been great at it. Now, I was doing that pod on Sunday night. It was 9 p.m. That's past my bedtime. That is past my bedtime, guys.
And
it
you're
is.
not even 40.
And I'm not even 40. And can you imagine if I'm 62? Like, we made the joke, now that Barnum is fired, if Robbie Hauk joins the staff, he'll reduce the average age of the staff by like 30 years.
I also think he would be a great hire because
he would be
eager to go recruit, right?
Yes, he would be the youngest person on that staff by like 30 years. And that, I think, is an issue. Like, I'm not trying to get people fired, but look, if you are older, I'm just telling you, this is a fact. If you're older, it's harder to do these things and go out and try.
Totally.
It is, because I can tell you at 40, I turned 40 in 4 days. I will not want to do anything past 9 p.m. Nothing.
Nothing.
And you're telling me that these coaches are going to go out and recruit, like, and text kids, 18-year-olds? No. You need to get younger. You need more energy. And so Robbie would be perfect. Get him out there. Tell him to bring his friends.
Man, the last thing I was thinking is that as life evolves, like we all try to be our best, but then we get into these spots where, okay, maybe I don't do this as good as I used to, or maybe I do this a certain way and there is a better way to do it, but I just don't want to learn. I just don't care. I'm just going to do it my way. There could be a better way, but I just don't have the time or the energy or the care to learn something new. And I'm not saying that that's these guys. I'm just saying that is human nature. And I think that this happened. I mean, this is not a rare phenomenon.
It's like you like the movie Major League.
I love it.
Okay, it's like the difference between Harris and Ricky Wild Thing Vaughn, right? Ricky Wild Thing Vaughn is the flamethrower that comes in, lack of control, but he is energetic and young and hard throwing. And then Harris is the guy with Tabasco and Vaseline on his shoulder and like all the tricks to try to just eke out another opportunity because he doesn't have what he once did. That's the difference.
And I think that that's the thing that where I do have grace because I just think that it's easy to get wrapped up in the here and now and the specifics and the specific people and the specific decision making and all that sort of stuff. But everything in life ebbs and flows. And guess what, man? Even Mac Brown got fired. Even Bobby Bowden got shown the door. Like there is a peak and there is a decline, and it happens to literally everybody. And I don't know, man.
Father Time is undefeated.
It's just how it goes, man. And I just think that like we don't have the solutions. I would just say this. The thing that has been the biggest difference to me covering Montana State and Montana as heavily as I do over the last 10 years is that basically everything that has been wrong with Montana State, they have forwardly and consciously acknowledged that and then at least had a plan, if not a decisive action to fix it. Montana, when you give them constructive criticism or when they hear you giving them constructive criticism on things like this, they double and triple down and they hold it against you.
Yeah.
Or they tell you have no idea. You're being too critical. You're not in the foxhole. What the hell do you guys know? You just have a podcast. And like I always try to remind them is we are proud University of Montana alums. And that at the end of the day, I'm not rooting for either side of this, but I want my alma mater to be as good as it possibly can be. And I don't think that's the case. And that's not just with the athletic department. It's not just with the football team. It's with the university as a whole. And it means something to me as a Missoula native and someone that went to school here that it gets back to where it is an entity that I do think is trying its best.
Yeah. And it's look, guys, I want Montana to be the best that it can possibly be. And it's out of that where this rant comes from. I'm not talking about one singular game here. I'm talking about the last decade. And if you can't see the problem based off the numbers, then you're either blind or willfully complicit in this decline. The last time we started talking about offensive line play and how bad it was, I got inundated with this guy doesn't know what he's talking about. And I'm like, well, here's Pro Football Focus numbers and here's how bad they are. To which the response was, well, Pro Football Focus doesn't matter. And it's like, you people are ridiculous. Like other people posting, hey, stop criticizing them and just give them some love. Like those guys are part of the problem. You are not recognizing the problem here. Like we should want the best and want to be the best. That's where all of this comes from. And if you guys can't have that same desire and passion to make Montana the best that it can be, then get the fuck out of the way because the rest of us are trying to make a difference here.
All conference stuff's going to come out tomorrow. Montana's not going to have a first team all conference offensive lineman. If they do, it's going to be Liam Brown. Montana State's going to have 2 to 3 on the first team, right? The Grizz do the Grizz have the best running back in the conference?
Yes.
They're 4th in the league in rushing by, and they're almost 100 yards behind first place.
Yeah.
Like at some point, people have to believe the numbers. If you think PFF is bullshit, okay. How are the Grizz averaging 100 rushing yards less per game than Sac fucking State when they have Eli Gilman? Like what?
Yeah.
What are we talking about?
And there's nuance there, right? There's
There
nuance
is.
to
Sexton runs the ball every fucking
runs the
down.
ball, and there's Ayat's throwing the ball well, and there's all of the nuance there. Okay, that doesn't change the fact that based off the results, right, are what they are, and you can see based off the ratings and how well they block, like they're not any good. We're lucky that Gilman has gotten what he's gotten. You know, defenses have to key on. Can you imagine if we did not have Ayat and Wortham, and they were putting 8 in the box every time? Gilman would have like 600 yards this year. That's it. So like, yeah, we can loosen him up, and that's how he gets yards. But our number one offensive lineman is Evan Schaefer, and he's a tight end.
Right.
So like, what are we doing?
Which goes back to the development that we could go on and on and on about this, but like this is where I don't understand where it changed in their minds, because they had a formula that works so well, and I know stuff evolves. We just said that. We just talked about that. But like Jake Olson came to them as a 6'7", 270-pound tight end, and now he's a fifth-year senior, and he's a 6'7", 275-pound tight end. That's like the third or fourth tight end. Why didn't you just make that guy a tackle? Like, Schaefer's 6'5", 270. He has been, though. Why don't you just make him a tackle and have an athletic tackle?
Yeah, you have split zone and Schaefer just destroying people going across the formation. Like, he is very impressive with his blocking. He should be a lineman. Like, do you need him out there catching passes? I don't think you do.
They throw the ball twice.
Yeah. So like, what are we doing here? And we act like it doesn't matter. Like, oh, well, tackles don't matter. Like, guys, the mindset of back when I played was we want the biggest, baddest people on the line. And if you're not good enough, you're not going to play. Like, we're going to bring in the next guy. We're going to bring in the next Chris Dyke. We're going to bring in the next Colin Dow. We're going to bring in the next JD Quinn. Like, we're going to bring in the next Levi Horn. If you guys can't produce, you are out, and a next guy will be in. When did it become, well, that doesn't matter? Give them some love. Pro Football Focus doesn't matter. They're actually good. No, they're not. They're clearly not. So stop with the bullshit, pull the Band-Aid off, and fix it. And again, if you're not going to fix it, get the fuck out of the way.
Talkin Schmidt.
That's a whole Schmidt song. The whole episode.
The whole episode was one. Yeah. I'll leave you with this. The last time the Montana Grizzlies won a national championship, I was in 7th grade. And since then, schools like Eastern Washington, James Madison, Appalachian State, North Dakota State was Division II until I was a graduate of college, and they've won 10 national championships. All I'm saying is, if you have followed the Grizz for a certain amount of time, if you told somebody in 2002 that the Grizz would have 0 national championships since then in 2025, they would have said, "You're drunk and high. What is wrong with you? That is not possible. There's no way that Montana will not win another national championship," and they have not. And they have to figure out a way to remedy that, because there's literally nothing holding them back but themselves.
It's all self-inflicted. And if they can fix all of it, you have stuff to draw to recruit to get people excited about. Until you guys decide that you want to do that, you're going to keep getting your lunch eaten by your little brother. And if you do it another 30 years, they're going to catch you in wins. So there's that.
Andrew Schmidt, weekly here on the Big Sky Breakdown. Thanks for being here, buddy.
Yeah, no problem.